Hey, what up, guys? Welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. As you guys already know, this is a chapter 2 where we're talking about your haters equal a fuel source, as in an energy and a motivational fuel source, as well as a source of laughter, which is a fuel source in and of itself. You know, the more you can you can have laughter and a jovial mindset and heart set, the more it is for you, the easier it is for you to be kind to others, you know, to go to work longer hours, achieve a whole bunch of goals if you're just kind of walking on sunshines and with that laughter. So haters provide that, man. This is chapter 2. If you didn't watch chapter 1, definitely check it out, guys. It sets the stage or the table for chapter 2. Now, here in chapter 2, we're going to be going over we're just going to be going over the dynamics of it more. You know, in chapter 1, I basically spent that whole video, as you know, talking about the fact that, you know, I shared a story with you guys. But anyway, let's get into it so we can get out of here by 30 minutes at the latest. I'm encouraging you guys, as I mentioned in chapter 1, hey man, learn to laugh at these clowns. There are some kids that are afraid of clowns. There are children that are definitely, a lot of them, that are afraid of clowns. But yet we do know that clowns are here to be laughed at. That's why they're at the circus. That's why they paint their face and jump around and do the things that clowns do. So if that's what a clown is for, then we owe it to ourselves to do what we can to get a genuine, keyword, a genuine laugh at it. Not a mockery or a shaming or put down type of laugh, but you know, just a genuine laugh, man. So I want to encourage you guys to learn how to do that, man. As I mentioned in chapter 1, there's a lot of energy, your own personal energy, mine's even before I cleared that hurdle, that was going towards, you know, shielding and rejecting and deflecting and ignoring and rising above and trying to understand, you know, their hatred and all the goofy little things that they do, until finally, you know, I did what I'm encouraging you to do. It's just don't resist it. It's a fuel source. Who don't want to put fuel, free fuel into their car? You by yourself, I'll speak for myself, you know, it can be a challenge, and I think I speak for all of us, it can be a challenge for us to just keep ourselves feeling good. You know, there's times, there's moments that we all have, and, you know, today's economy and the political environment and race tensions and all that, it can be a haul just staying upbeat and staying positive. I mean, we all have ups and downs when it comes to that. So when it comes to a free way to be up, a free fuel source, who don't want that in these days and times? And this is what the haters provide. When we just simply change our perspective of it and see it for what it truly is. It's ridiculous, it's pathetic, and it's totally hilarious. It really is. That you can just walk in somewhere and people can just see you. Excuse me, they can just feel you. You ever notice that? When you first walked in, you know, they took a look at you. Wasn't, okay, no hatred, no, you know, negative energy. You know, you didn't sense there was no negative energy coming your way. But then, just by you guys standing in line or standing working on a project at work or whatever, all of a sudden they just flip out. That's hilarious, isn't it? They just start flipping out with their mean mugs, their rude, insultive behavior and conducts and all the little shenanigans that they're about. When you think about it, it's really hilarious, man. So anyway, if you guys are at a workplace, or maybe even in your own family unit, maybe or extended family, if you go to a family reunion, or you guys, you know, congregate, you know, quite regularly or whatever when it comes to your family. Maybe it's your neighborhood. Maybe it's that same shopping environment that you go to. Whatever. If it's somewhere or some people that you're kind of around regularly, You've been labeled. You've been labeled. Your haters, oh yes, and they do team up. We all know that. They could never, their energy could never compare to yours. So they team up. Their concentration, their focus, they don't have any love and joy, but whatever they bring to the table, it's no match for you. So they team up. They call in their minions and flying monkeys, and they team up. And you've been labeled. They've gotten together and they've labeled you. Labeled you as being everything from slow to arrogant. If you're a woman, you think you all of that. If you're a guy, you think you're a tough guy. And it's all because you can see them for what they are. And you don't judge them in a sense that they're not good enough to be around you. You just, not my cup of tea. And just because you decide that you just don't want to associate with these people. You don't want to be their friend. You don't want to hang out with them. You don't want to associate with them. And you do this, and you may have had to let this be known directly by way of a conversation or just by way of your actions, your demeanor, but it's always been respectful, what form it is that you took to let it be known that they're just not your cup of tea. You're not on whatever they're on. So it's been respectful as in, hey, wish you well, good luck, even, blessings on their path. But your path is, what you're on is something different. It's been respectful. But because they lack any dignity, they've labeled you. They've labeled you as some of the things that I mentioned and many other things that I haven't mentioned. And they get them in their little group chats and in their neighborhood or office meetings or whatever it is. And they sit around and spend all of that time talking about you, hating on you, sharing information about what makes you tick, what pushes your button. The comments, the no invite to the office party. They scheme, they plot, they connive. Day in and day out, you're living rent-free in their minds and in their mouth. They can't stop thinking about you. And when they see you, they can't control themselves from reacting. And as you know, yes, it's a negative reaction. They can't just mind their own business and let you continue to mind yours. And so they've labeled you. I want to encourage you guys to just pause and think about that. That's a fuel source. That's a source that says, hey, I thank you, Father, God, because the Bible says that you are wonderfully and fearfully made. And so whether it's a fear thing or jealousy thing, or they're just blown away with the way you carry yourself, what you drive, what you look like, whatever they're hating on, it's blown them away. And that's a fuel source to say, hey, look, I may be struggling here. Things aren't perfect. I have my moments, but I must be doing something right. Let me just keep on going then. That's a fuel source. When you got all of these people doing all of these things, paying all of this attention, all of this energy towards you, no, don't run from it. Embrace it. It literally is a fuel source. And then once, as I mentioned, it's a source of laughter. Because how pathetic must people be to walk around day in and day out, to talk around day in and day out about how they can't stand you and how everything is so messed up with you. Well, if that's the case, it's kind of funny that if things are so messed up, then why are they so focused on you? Why are they so obsessed with you? Why are they so triggered by you? I don't know. If something triggers me, if something I don't like, I'm not comfortable around, I ain't paying that no attention. I'm trying to get away from it. Not these clowns. They can't get you off of their minds or out of their mouth. You live in their mouth. Every word out of your mouth. And then they want to, what's funny about it, here comes the laughter, is because in their own little confused, delusional way of thinking, there's something wrong with you. In that little confused and delusional mind, there's something wrong with you. Even though you're the guy, you're the girl that's just minding your own business, you're polite, you're respectful, you just simply have opted, you've made the choice to not associate with them. You're not being rude, you're not being aggressive, you're not being dismissive, you just don't associate with them. And they can't take their eyes or their mouth off of you. And in their own, think about that, in their own world, you're the one with the problem. We're the one with the problem, the one that just mind their own business. Not all of the people, all of the haters that can't take their eyes off of us. They can't take their mouth off of us. We're minding our business. They're peeping around the corner, listening around the corner, trying to time when you get up from your desk and go to the water fountain or go to lunch. They're trying to time that so they could be anywhere near you. They're going out of their way to try to piss you off and tear you down. You're just minding your business. Let that sink in for a minute. If that ain't funny, if that ain't comical, I don't know what is. So again, it's a fuel source and it's comedy. You deserve to reap the benefits out of them both. So on them days when things aren't going so well, it's a rough day, you didn't get to work on time, you got to leave early, pick the kids up. Hey, there are some haters. It used to be, because I'm going to prophesy this over your life and mine, it used to be, especially when you was in a difficult moment, you would see the haters be like, oh no, not this clown. Now, with this new, renewed mindset, especially when things ain't going good, you're like, oh, here comes this clown. Okay, I can start feeling better already. I don't have to antagonize them. I don't have to really pay them no attention. I don't have to rub their nose in it. They're going to give me some fuel. They're going to give me some laughter. Because when you stop and think about how, again, hilarious and how pathetic they are, it provides you both. They're going to go over there. They're going to come over there. You know that. Until one day, maybe they figure it out that you're actually feeding off of their hatred. You actually fuel it. It's actually fueling your focus, your drive, your determination. It's fuel when it fuels your laughter and your joy and all that. You ain't got to lift a finger. You ain't got to stare back. You ain't got to do nothing. They just gonna walk up, present themselves, and get goofy. Clowns are here to be laughed at. Let's get into a couple of reasons of why these people, or the things that they use, some of the things, the excuses, if you will, that they use to try to label you, or some of the names, the reason why they say you're the problem. But make no mistake about it, guys. These people are wholly dysfunctional. And while on the surface, Some of them don't realize that their dysfunctional behavior is actually dysfunctional, that it's actually dysfunctional. Some of them don't realize that because some people have been just so misguided that they think it's just the norm for society. It is what it is. Some of them don't realize that it's actual dysfunctional behavior and conduct. But deep, deep down inside, somewhere, all of them know that you're not the problem. They all know that they're the problem. And as I mentioned in chapter 1, we continue to maintain and reserve empathy and compassion for these people, but we don't stop calling a spade, and we don't go bothering them. But we've evolved to where, hey, you're gonna send some negative energy my way, be my guest. I'm gonna transmute it. This is where I want you guys to get. Transmute that. Deep, deep down in their minds, they know that you're not the problem. They know that they're the problem. Because they're having a great day and all you did was get up. Maybe you walked in the gas station to pay for some gas. Oh, gosh. You don't know this guy. You don't know this girl. Or maybe it's the cash register that works there every day, whatever. Or the attendant that works there every day, the cashier. But you don't know, you ain't did nothing. You just walked in for a brief second. Or you just walked into work or whatever it was. And there went their whole day, their evening, their tomorrow. They may be 2 weeks recovering from you just walking in with upbeat energy. Focused on yourself and this and that and that and this. They know they're the problem. They know deep, deep down inside. So let's get into it real quick and I'm going to try to get out of here, guys. But because, and this is all of us that's just working on ourselves, not holier than thou, just committed to being better and enjoying life, making it through our days and all that stuff, making the world a better place. There's something that you carry that we all have. We're not going to pretend we're robots. Like, we know that situations may cause us to be more cautious than others. The point that I'm making is you don't let that caution, you don't let whatever danger or whatever, whether it's physical danger or whether it's danger when it comes to your reputation, your business, whatever, you don't allow any kind of danger, your finance or whatever, you don't let any kind of danger stop you from doing what you know God has made you to do, and you don't let it stop you from being who you know God has made you to be. You're aware of the pitfalls, the consequences, the repercussions, the dangers, but you prioritize God. You trust God. And so you keep walking. And because you don't let that trepidation or that fear, because you won't be scared and you won't be ruled by fear. You may experience that fear. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. You may experience that fear, but you're going to trust God. And because you won't surrender to that fear, you're a tough guy. You're a tough girl. I know. That's some fuel. That's funny. That's really funny. Because you won't allow them to intimidate you, because you refuse to be afraid of them. They may be bigger. They may have the financial backing. It may be more of them and just you. You're standing on what you believe in and what God made you to be and to do. You're standing on that. Hard hat on, mouthpiece in, boots laced up, and 10 toes down. You're standing on that. And because you won't allow them to intimidate you, you think you're tough. Again, I know it. That's some fuel, right? That's funny, right? Like they when they was on the whole other side of the office space, the ball game, they spotted you and walked all the way around the stadium, big guy or a whole bunch of guys, a big girl way bigger than you, or a whole bunch of her homegirls. They walked all the way around her, sat by you, started it with you, and you said, no, yeah, I stand up for myself. I ain't doing that. I know y'all got the numbers, and I know y'all bigger or whatever, but you ain't finna be ruled by that. So you think you're tough. I know it. You can't make this up. They went out of their way to try to bully you, to try to intimidate you, to try to put you down, to try to irritate you, to try to agitate you. No. You're standing up for your love. You're standing up for your beliefs. You're standing up for your peace. You're standing up for your joy. You're standing up for your personal space. They went out of their way to infringe upon you. And because you wouldn't be subdued, you think you're tough. Yeah, get a laugh out of that, guys. Get a laugh out of that. Get a laugh out of the clown that has a mental makeup that could even view that as being tough because you wouldn't let them bully you. Get that energy that comes from that, guys. You must be doing something right. These people need for you to be docile. They need for you to be docile. When you don't come in there because they're all driving Benzes and Lexus and you riding the bus, but you come in there with just as much confidence, just as much self-belief, just as much esteem, probably more esteem and joy and optimism for the future and faith. You walk in with more in your pinky finger than all of them combined has. And they looking at, well, wait a minute, I got the Benz. I got the Lexus. I'm next in line to be the CEO. You should be docile. Nope. Just because you won't be docile. They want you docile. They want you to be intimidated. Because you won't be intimidated. Because you won't be docile. There's something wrong with you. I know it. Right, just think about it. So stop letting these clowns come around you with that negative energy, and then now all of a sudden you're torn down, or all of a sudden you got to spend all of your energy trying to protect yourself and shield and rise above. No, welcome it in. I got a car out there right now. Somebody pull up and they want to put gas in. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Because sometimes it can be, just to use that as an example, sometimes gas prices are high nowadays. Welcome that. It's a fuel source. And then get a laugh out of the fact that now they walked up to you, volunteered, you didn't ask them or nothing. They walked up to you, put gas in your car, and now they're mad at you. I know it. You can't make this up, right? That's funny, right? They came over there hating on you. These people need for you to overreact because you won't overreact. I'm going to get out of here. Because you won't overreact. This is one of the things that, if to use this term kind of loosely, but also, very sternly, this is what they use to justify or to continue to ratchet up right before their crucifixion of Christ. This is what blew them out of the water. This is what angered them. This is what infuriated them. This is what enticed them the most. They couldn't get an overreaction out of Christ. They would say this and do that and do this and say that. And yeah, he did stand up for himself. We know he ran the people out of the temple and did some other things that let them know, hey, this ain't no punk. But whenever they would try to get him to overreact, he wouldn't overreact. And what did they do? Kept pressing. And becoming madder and madder. We're going to dig deeper. We're going to say this. We're going to do that. He started praying for him and all of this, saying how he forgive them. That sent them further and further. They couldn't get that overreaction. Just give them some understanding of what's really, really going on, guys. People want you to overreact. They can't get that reaction. Nothing bothers you. You're just as calm. When the uncrossable line has been crossed, you let it be known. So you're not overreacting, and they definitely want you to underreact as well. Yeah, they want you. I got a video on deck about that. They want you to underreact as well. Like, I'm gonna come over here and violate your personal space, and you either pretend that you don't see it, you don't understand, or you do see it and understand, but I expect for you to let me get away with that because, excuse me, if you don't, I'm going to label you as you think you're tough. I'm going to say the problem is yours. I'm going to say that you are a reactor. I don't know what you call it. There will be no crossing of the uncrossable line around here, not when it comes to me. This is your mindset. This is our mindset. This ain't arrogance. This ain't tough guy, tough girl. This ain't ego. You came over here to purposefully try and push my button in whatever way to see if I would overreact or underreact. No. And I know it's a fuel source. It's like, you've seen this in that office space, in that Walmart, that Saks Fifth Avenue, whatever. You've seen this. Where people, you in Hellsberg Jewelers, you looking at some diamonds. They was way on that side. They came right over there and then stood next to you and started all that little coughing and picking their nose and mean mugging and all of that. And then if that, you handled that appropriately, but again, they kept pressing, doing more and more and more. And then you finally said, no, that's enough. Stop that, dude. They was expecting for you to overreact or just underreact. Just let them keep disrespecting you in your face. Nah. These people, that's funny, right? That has to be funny, and it has to be a fuel source, because now that you and I both know that you walked all the way around there to get right here to test me, and then I didn't overreact, but you kept pushing it. You kept pushing it. So now that's fuel for if I have to stomp your head into the floor. You just gave me all the fuel I need, because I'm totally fueled up, because I know I wasn't bothering you, because I know I let you get away with so much. And then when they land there, or complaining, they done call the police. Now you laugh and you're like, man, dude came over and messing with me. Check the tape. You laughing at him. You laughing at him. Let me see if I can give you guys another one, man. These people, they want you to be disingenuous too. They don't want you to be true. They want you to be just as fake as they are. Fake smile, fake laugh, fake friend. Ain't no friend faking around here. Whatever we're going to be that for real. For real friends or for real enemies. For real partners or for real competitors. Whatever it is, we're going to do this real. Ain't no faking around here, smiling in my face and secretly competing behind my back. No, once I smell that out, no. I'm not teaming up with you on anything, and I know you're competing behind my back. Get out of here. They want you to fake smile. They know that everybody in that circle don't like each other. They all secretly competing against each other, but they all smile in each other's face. And you dare to be real enough to say, hey man, look, I don't mess with you guys. Or you don't mess with them girls. You know they fake. This is why they label you guys. They label you because, they want you, they need you to crave fitting in. This is why they bring so much pressure to bear. Good old-fashioned, ugly, social bullying at its absolute finest and most refined definition of the term. Social bullying. We're going to make you care that we're all over here laughing and we're having fun, and you're sitting over there, and if you want to have fun, you got to come sit over here with us, or we're going to roll our eyes. We're not going to invite you to the company picnic. And when we tell jokes and mess with that person, you got to tell jokes and mess with that person like us. No. They want you to crave fitting in, and you don't give a half a tablespoon of soggy, wet bean skins about fitting in. And it drives them crazy. Think about that. You know how right you got to be. You know how powerful and how what you must be carrying for them, a whole group of people, to feel like they need you to fit in, or they're going to fall apart, or they're going to attack you. Fit in with us or we'll destroy you. That's a laugh in and of itself, and it's certainly energy, because wow, I must be incredible if I got all these people. And it's a humble statement, but it's a humble truth, but it's still just as factual. You must be an awesome person for them to gather around and connive and try to hook up to focus on you. They're all bent out of shape because you respectfully told them you're walking your own path. They need you to care about fitting in. They need you to care about what they got, who they are, where they come from, their education, what they drive. They need you to care about what they think, what they say, what they look like. You don't care about none of that. You could be, I don't know anyone. I'll say Holly Berry. I was going to say Holly Berry for my people. But you could be Holly Berry or Denzel Washington if you're a young lady. You could be Denzel Washington. If that energy don't vibe, you don't give a darn about what he look like. And I don't know any white sisters or white women to say, but you could be, I guess the most popular one from back in my day was Marilyn Monroe. You could be Marilyn Monroe. If you're one of my white brothers out there, she could be Marilyn Monroe. If that energy don't mix, so what? Or if you're one of my white sisters out there, he could be Brad Pitt. So what? You don't care about none of that? And it just grinds them down. So that's a laugh in and of itself, man. Let me get out of here, man. I'm at 34 minutes yet again. I said I was going to get out of here at 30. If you want some information about the ministry, check out Chapter 1 or any other of the recent videos. There's always the Cash App link down in the description box if the Holy Spirit moves you to make a monetary donation in any amount. There's always the email address down in the description box if you have any questions, if you're interested in any of the services. But that's what I got for you guys. The services are designed to help strengthen and nourish the mind, the body, and the spirit. The services consist of certified fitness training, clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices, as well as youth and young adult mentoring and counseling. Hit me up if you have any questions, guys. I love you all. Just go out there and see what's going on. See behind the curtains. Let this message be fuel to encourage you to get fuel out of the hate. Don't run from it. Get fuel out of that, and to get the laughter as well, because it's there. When you sit back and you think about it, or again, when it comes to some of the things that they do physically, picking their nose and coughing and trying to stand by you all close and violate your personal space when, excuse me, I thought you didn't like me. Somebody I don't like them, standing way over there somewhere. This is hilarious. This is what I got for you guys. Hey, I love you all. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Yes, I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and yes, I will holla back.